As you can see, I'm out and about. It's the first day of spring. What a great chance to get outside, do a bit of sketching, take the dog for a walk. You can see him plodding around there behind me. My wife's taken the young dog out for a longer walk, and I just thought I'd take this old hound out for a plod up the trail. While I was doing that, I thought I'd grab some simple sketching materials. Just got a little sketchbook and just a few bits and pieces to do some drawing with. Just really a chance to get out, have a look around, get some fresh air, take in the surroundings. I've come to one of my favourite places to come on a day like this. This is up at Minning Low here in Derbyshire. It's just really open, beautiful open landscape. I'm actually walking across the railway viaduct at the moment. This is an old railway line that's been turned into a walking and cycling trail. But it's really beautiful. It's a lovely day. You've got a fantastic view out for miles. I can see for absolutely miles in every direction. So I'm just going to take a little stroll, see how Bruce is getting on there. How you doing, Bruce? See if I can get him in the camera. Come on, you can do it. He's getting a bit long in the tooth, but he likes to go out for a nice plod. But you know, it's the first day of spring. Why wouldn't you get out? You know, I like to go out in all weathers really, but you know, you get a lovely day like this and it just makes you want to get outside, do something with it, make some marks. Okay, let's see how it goes. The old lime kiln up here. This is right by the second viaduct. You can see right over there in the distance, that's the viaduct I was walking across at the beginning of the video. So I'm on the other side now, I'm on another viaduct, but this is the old lime kiln. And the last time I was up here, it must be a couple of years ago now, this was completely derelict, and I think it's been like that for quite a while. And so since, you know, in the meantime, it's been rebuilt, and I didn't know this was going on, so that's really fantastic to see. So this is really interesting part of the industrial heritage of this area. That, you know, you've got manufacturing going on here, mining and manufacturing going on right out in the landscape, and you can get onto the rail line here. And if you went in this direction, you go for a few miles in this direction, it'll take you all the way to Cromford, which is a real part of the industrial revolution, and onto the canals, and from there to the rest of the world. So yeah, it's just really fascinating part of the industrial heritage of this part of the landscape, and I just love it. I love seeing these really interesting old pieces of, you know, really kind of interesting hand-built architecture, industrial architecture. Is fantastic. So yeah, it might be really interesting. I'd quite like to. I've done some sketching up here before when it was derelict, but I think it'd be quite nice to do it now actually, get some of those shapes in. Yeah, I think I'll go at that. Okay, so it didn't quite work out over there by the lime kiln that I was showing you. It's as you can tell, it's pretty windy today, and where I was settling down to try and do a bit of drawing, it was just blowing an absolute gale. The tripod with the camera on it was falling over, and the paper was just blowing everywhere, and it was just a little bit unbearable. So I'll have to try that another day. It's a really nice subject though, which is a bit of a shame because I thought it was quite interesting, but I just couldn't hold on to anything, so I wasn't quite working out. So I've moved to somewhere that's a little bit more secluded, but it's still a fantastic view, and I just that's all I really wanted today, was just to find a spot to just sit down for a few minutes and just do a little bit of drawing. And like I was saying, you know, I'm just treating it as part of the dog walk really. So a dog walk with sketching. So yeah, so I'm going to do it here and see what we get. So yeah, I'm tucked down behind this wall here, as you can see, but yeah, I'm just sheltering from the wind, trying to stay out of the gale, and I've just got a few bits and pieces with me in this little tub. Just my knife for sharpening my pencils, and just a few pencils, a few soft pastels, some actual, these are like oil pastels, just a few bits and bobs for making some marks. Yeah, so I'm going to have a look, peer out over the top of this wall. Yeah, it's fantastic actually. It's beautiful light, it's lovely, but I'm not really going to try and do anything particularly exciting. I just want to make some marks. I think actually on these bits of paper I'd put a bit of collage on here. That's something I was doing for one of the projects on my membership group. So this is a sketchbook, I haven't used it for a bit, so I was doing these sort of very rough sketches that were working over sort of pre-collage parts of the sketchbook, which was quite nice. It just gives the paper, it stops you looking at a blank bit of paper when you're starting. It kind of gives it a bit of energy to begin with, so I might actually work over that. I don't see why not. It's there, so may as well do it. I always find that the first one's a bit of a terrible scruffy mess, but I never really care about that, because what I'm really trying to do when I'm out doing this sort of sketching is just be outside. And I think always the first one, just chuck a bit of water on there to keep the stuff moving around. I always think the first one's always just about getting your eye in. I mean, this sort of drawing is all about looking, really. It's just giving me an excuse to be out here and taking it in a bit and just making some marks on the paper, chucking some colour down. And I never really care what the results are for this sort of thing, because that's not really what it's about. It's not really about making art. And I think a lot of the time it's very easy to get precious about making nice pictures. You come somewhere nice and you've got to make a nice picture, but in fact what you really need to do is just be there, because my finished work in my studio, which is where I do most of my finished work, takes weeks, often days, weeks, months, but it has to start somewhere. So it always has to start by just being outside. So trying to get some of the idea and the energy and the feeling across in the finished work. So if I was to spend all my time when I'm outside doing this sort of thing worrying about making nice pieces of artwork, then I'm not really taking it in, not really soaking in the atmosphere, which is really what I'm trying to do while I'm out here. So when I make marks like this, which to anyone watching this is probably thinking, what the hell is he doing? Just throwing stuff around, making a mess on the paper. That's fine. I don't care. I don't care about that. I don't care about this turning into something pretty or something that's going to be exhibited or anything like that. And I think that's a mistake that a lot of people can make when you go somewhere exciting and beautiful. You spend the whole time worrying about doing justice to the thing. How can I make marks on my paper? How can I make something on my paper out of these things that somehow does justice to this phenomenal landscape? Well, that's the wrong way to think about it. What you need to do is be here, take it in, make marks on the paper, make energetic marks, say something on the paper that reminds you of what it was like to be here. So I could do that in all sorts of different ways. I can remind myself what it's like to be here in different ways. I can do it by doing some drawing like this. I can make some notes, written notes, take a few photographs of colours, not photographs of the view. I don't need to do that. I'm not talking about taking a photograph so I can, recreate the view. I'm not interested in that. Yeah, I could, make some notes about this sort of thing, written notes or some photographs about things like that. Maybe grab some colours, things that are going on out there. Movement. There's a lot of movement out here, actually. This is what I'm trying to do with these marks, is try and really get a sense of the energy of that wind blowing through. So when I look back on these drawings, I'm not thinking, oh, that was a nice pretty landscape. I'm thinking, wow, wasn't there a lot of energy there? There's a lot of contrast here, which I quite like to get down. And I think that lighter stuff that I've just put down would actually benefit from having something on here which is a bit darker, so it shows up a bit more. Let's try a bit of this pastel, get some shadow. That's getting windy now, because it's coming from all directions as well. It isn't just like a constant breeze, it's just gusting all over the place. Let's get some more of that on there. So that's a bit of fun. I'll probably move to a different spot and do a couple more drawings. Like I was saying when I was doing the drawing there, it's not about making nice pictures. I think, when you come out and there's all this going on, there's all this movement, there's all this energy, there's all this kind of, it's quite violent actually. Like I said, I couldn't even sit in that first spot before because it was so uncomfortable. I couldn't do it. I mean, I just couldn't do anything. It was blowing all over the place. So it's quite violent. So you've got to try and get some of that energy and stuff into the drawings, because it's not about making, for me, this is the kind of work that I do. And if you've seen my work, my finished work, you'll know that where it ends up, where this kind of stuff ends up. In the studio paintings, the large scale studio paintings, and the smaller things I do as well. But so when I'm out doing things like this, it's not about making pictures, it's not about making a representation, a kind of photographic representation of the thing that's there, the where things are. I don't care about that. All I'm interested in is just putting down something about how it makes me feel when I'm here, getting some of that energy down using the colour and the movement. So yeah, anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching that, and I'll go and find another spot. Bruce is getting tired, the poor old thing. He doesn't really want to go for too much of a walk. I think we've got a little bit of a way to go back, so I'll head back the way I came, maybe stop along the way and do some more drawing and see how we go. Okay, so I'll see you soon.